Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Droid Life Show today, episode 154. It is Friday, October 6th. I'm your host, Kellen. With me, Tim. Tim's here.
Hey guys, how's it going? Tim here. Happy Friday.
So, early show. Obviously, if you are tuning in live, and a huge show at that. It was Google event. Well, you know that because we did a preview show. Yeah, huge week. We did a preview show earlier in the week, and now we're following that up with a sort of a recap reaction show. Again, it was Google's week. They owned the week. On Wednesday, they held an event in San Francisco to announce. I mean, they announced so much stuff that we just want to talk about it all. I was there for the event, so I've had my hands on some of the stuff, including the Pixel 2, Pixel 2 XL. But not only that, I mean, they announced the Pixelbook, the Google Home Mini, the Google Home Max, Google Clips, Pixel Buds. Nest had some stuff. There was lots of assistant stuff. Google Lens is finally coming. I mean, like the list just kind of, I'm probably missing stuff. The list just kind of goes on and on and on and on. So,
Daydream View.
that's right. There was a new Daydream View. Although they didn't really hype a lot of it. It's just like a new one with slightly better field of view, I think. Something like that. Anyways, it was a while. I mean, the cool, it was what, like 2 hours or something like that. The event lasted. It started at 9 a.m. And didn't it get over like right around 11, just before 11, something like that. It was a long one, but it was like one person after another just talking about something new. So anyways, we'll just share some thoughts on all of that stuff. And if you're in the live chat, feel free to share as well. So I think we should start Pixel 2, Pixel 2 XL. Safe to say those are the most important.
Yes.
We're not going to do like Google and go the reverse. So during the event, Google started off with
Google Home Mini.
they started with Home. Yeah. Started off with Home, and then we're like into Pixelbook and kind of worked backwards. And then they were like, hey, and here's the Pixel 2. And then I don't feel like they even spent a ton of time on the Pixel 2.
I feel like they did, but yeah, I mean, like you said, it was totally backwards.
Yeah.
And
I know
given
they were
the
trying
hype,
to build hype.
yeah, but like, come on, dude, we've been waiting months. Everything's leaked already. Just get it over with. Like, pull it off like a Band-Aid. Don't just,
Right. And they spent a ton of time on Home, like Home Mini and then Home Max. Like they were huge presentations. And then Pixel 2 is like they came out, said a bunch of stuff. And then a couple other people came out, did some demos of like Assistant and Lens. And then they were like, okay, and it's this price. And all right, let's talk about other stuff. I don't know. It just felt like, I know they spent some time, but a lot of it was like software related, not really phone related. Whatever. Let's talk about it. So Pixel 2, Pixel 2 XL, they are official. As you guys know, the Pixel 2 is the HTC made version. Pixel 2 XL is the one LG manufactured for Google. So in terms of just specs, not really any surprises there, right? So one has a 5-inch display, Pixel 2. Pixel 2 XL has that 6-inch POLED Quad HD display. It's kind of that full vision style where it's mostly display up front, but there's definitely some bezel there. And the bezel's likely there because they put front stereo speakers on the phone, which like I think I will take a little bit of that extra bezel to have those front stereo speakers. Like one of the things I really hate about modern phones is the fact that they have a single speaker on the bottom. Like I just think that's such a terrible spot. You and I've talked about this a lot over the years about how even like watching a video or playing a game, your hand always covers the damn thing up. So front stereo speakers, that's not an issue, and you just get better sound in general. So in terms of storage, both are 64 or 128 gig, 4 gig RAM. They both have the same 12.2 megapixel camera on the back. It's f1.8, and it has both optical and electronic stabilization. I think there were some early rumors about no OIS again, and everyone got really pissed off, right? Because last year's Pixels didn't have optical image stabilization. These phones have both, so we're good there, people. In terms of batteries, 2700 milliamp hour in the Pixel 2, which I think that's smaller than last year's Pixel, isn't it? Like,
well, I don't know about that. I mean, but it's a small phone, right? It's 5
it is a small phone.
Display, FHD. I mean, it doesn't really need a huge battery.
Right. But I think we've even seen smallish phones. Like, what does the Galaxy S8 have? Like a 30, that's at least 3000, isn't it? Something like that.
I don't know right off, but I don't think so. It's like 28 something, I thought. I could be totally off.
It was 3, but either way, it seems on the smaller side. But like you said, it's a smaller phone, 5-inch, 1080p display. But last year's Pixel, I think, was similar, so it's probably not going to be that big of a difference. The Pixel 2 XL is 3520 milliamp hour, which is decent size. They both run Snapdragon 835 processors, have Bluetooth 5.0. We do have water and dust resistance this year. Hallelujah. IP67, not quite 68. 67 is fine.
Wow.
USB Type-C, no headphone jack. I know people are pissed about that. We knew it wouldn't have one. Fingerprint sensor on the back. In terms of pricing, Pixel 2, $649, $749. Pixel 2 XL, $849, $949.
I will say, like, we could talk about this pricing thing just a tad. Like,
Yeah.
the price for the Pixel 2 XL makes sense to me. It's got that massive display, all that great stuff. It is missing a few things like a headphone jack and wireless charging, but a $649 starting price for the Pixel 2, given that it's a smaller display, a pretty darn small display, a kind of ugly front with like huge bezels and stuff in that small battery.
Yeah.
I just don't think the phone should be priced that much. I really feel like they should have tried to come in at a lower price point for the Pixel 2, but that's just me, I guess.
I wonder what happens if you do, like, say it's $549, $649 or something like that. I wonder how bad that looks then because then I would imagine people will complain about the 2XL and be like, well, it should be cheaper. It should be $749. I don't know. Like, I get what you're saying because it doesn't have that modern design. Like the Galaxy, how much is the Galaxy S8 these days? I think it started at what, $725?
Something like that, yeah.
And obviously there's discounts and stuff, but like that phone has everything in it, right? A big infinity display, headphone jack, fast wireless. I mean, SD cards, like it has even higher water resistance or higher water dust resistance. Like that phone has everything, and it's like it is a little bit more expensive than this. I think Galaxy S8 is around 750 or something, or 700. So I kind of feel you, but at the same time, like 649 puts it down there with. I mean, the V30 is $800. I know it's got a headphone jack, quad jack and stuff, but I'm trying to think of a phone that's like a flagship level phone that's cheaper than that.
OnePlus 5.
Right. So OnePlus 5 they're always cheaper. There's no water resistance in that thing.
Yeah, I mean, we could
I know. I'm just
like, we could compare, but the point is phone prices are going up, right? And people are pissed. I mean, we've got the Note 8 that's $1,000. The Pixel 2 XL, if you get it in the 128 gig configuration, that's really expensive too. I mean, these phones are expensive, but not only that. I mean, to me, the Note 8 is justified at that price point, and you can get it for cheaper, with trade-ins or whatever. But that phone, again, the Note 8 has everything, and it's got a lot more just on paper than the Pixel 2. Now, I mean, the Pixel 2 is a premium device. I have yet to hold it, but from everything I've seen, the camera, I mean, it's a great phone. I think they're overpriced a little bit.
The Pixel 2 XL, I don't know that I feel like it's overpriced just because it has that new display that they're producing, best in class according to DxOMark camera. It has almost everything in it. I mean, the wireless charging to me, that's like not really a factor. The no headphone jack, I know will piss a lot of people off and take away some value, but I feel like it's about as top tier as it gets. I'm with you on the Pixel 2. It's questionable just because design wise, like I held the phone and I said it in my first video I did, like it doesn't really feel that nice. Like the Pixel 2 XL feels really nice in hand. The Pixel 2, I just like it felt a little cheapish to me. Like it felt kind of plasticky to me. I'm not gonna lie. So I kind of get what you're saying, but I guess like my argument then is like at 650, like show me another phone that like has these specs and this camera that is priced lower than that. And I know you just said the OnePlus 5, but I think that might be the only one.
Yeah, well, I mean, it definitely doesn't have the same camera. It doesn't have like a 98 DxOMark camera inside of it. Ryan D in the chat says more, and he's referring to specs. More specs isn't necessarily better, nor does it mean that it can justify higher prices. I disagree like 100%. If a phone has more features and more specifications, then why not can it justify higher prices?
Well, yeah, because I mean, like those things cost the manufacturer money. So it should, I mean,
Exactly.
like the Note 8 is the prime example of a phone that you've argued like a handful of times is worth its price. And I don't think I can argue against it because like you get a free style. I shouldn't say free, you pay for it, but you
Yeah.
get a stylus included, right? And you get an SD card slot, wireless charging, fast wireless charging, a headphone jack. I mean, you get everything possible that they make to put in a phone. It has higher water dust. I mean, like every new technology that's available for phones is essentially in the Note 8. And like the Pixel 2 XL, it doesn't have all of that stuff. And it is similarly, I mean, it's sure 850, it is slightly cheaper, but not by much. But I'm kind of with you. Like we charge more for phones because we pack more stuff into them. I mean, that's why Apple's going to charge $1,000 for the iPhone 10 because they tried to, well, they'd take out a fingerprint reader, but you know, they tried to pack in all this new stuff. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah, a couple of people made this argument already that you and me are extremely lucky because we live in Oregon and don't have to worry about sales tax.
Yes.
And so
That 100%. Yep.
yeah, and some people, I mean, they're paying over $1,000 for these phones thanks to sales tax, and that's hurtful, dude. That's
That is
hurtful.
wild. I do forget that a lot because I mean, so I grew up in Montana, which also has no sales tax, and then I moved to Oregon, which also has no. So like my entire life, I've never lived. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
privilege right there, I guess.
Well, being from California, I know all about sales tax, and it sucks.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So anyway, so that's price, that's specs. Some other notes just about the two phones. Well, they come into, so the pricing matches what we reported a couple of weeks ago, but Pixel 2 comes in just black, clearly white, and kind of blue. And then the Pixel 2 XL comes in just black or the black and white. There's no blue option for the Pixel 2 XL. The kind of blue option also seems to be a Verizon exclusive, which
appears that way.
which is a bit odd. So the phone is sold on the Google Store and at Verizon and at Best Buy and I think Target. I think Target has it too. So they added a retailer. Good job, Google. There are unlocked models and there are Verizon models. So the Verizon models are probably just like last year's Pixel phones. Like you could buy one from Verizon and just slap a T-Mo SIM in there, AT&T SIM. It'll work. It's not like it's locked to Verizon, as far as we know. I should say I've not like confirmed that, but I don't believe Google is selling like a phone that's locked to Verizon. They didn't do that last year. They didn't do it with the Nexus 6 when they sold that. So I don't think that's happening.
I'm pretty sure that's not the case only because T-Mobile says you can buy the phone through Verizon and then bring it right to their network. It's not locked.
That's right. They did say it. So if like the unlocked version on the Google store is sold out and you still want the phone, you could buy the Verizon version and take it wherever the hell you want. I believe it just ships. Well, if you buy it from the Google store, it ships with a Verizon SIM inside, and that's kind of it. So yeah, I mean, it's an unlocked phone. It works on every single carrier. It doesn't support T-Mobile's new LTE band though, but we talked about that a long time ago. So
womp, womp.
It's sold out. I don't want to say it's sold out, but it's sort of versions.
It's fluctuating.
Yeah. So versions of it, you could tell sort of sold out initially. Like Google, like always, never has enough of these things. Like the black and white Pixel 2 XL basically was gone in minutes, and then they kind of restocked it. And what they do, and they do this every year, they start pushing out the shipping estimate. So I don't know what it's at now, but when we finally got a second order in yesterday, I think it was up to what, like 7-8 weeks or something like that. So
yeah, something redonkulous.
Yeah. So some phones like the just black Pixel 2 XL, yesterday you could order it and it was going to show up in 2 to 3 weeks, which is launch day. Like that's on time. The black and white one is now like almost 3 or 2 months out. Some of the Pixel 2 versions I think are starting to get a little bit out there, but those are mostly available.
So. Yeah. Right now, you can find a Pixel 2 XL unlocked black and white, but only in 128 gigs, and it will ship in 7 to 8 weeks. So that's not, it's not terrible.
So it's December, yeah. That's what we're looking at this point. So some of them sold out really quickly, essentially.
That Panda dough.
Yeah, that black and white one's the one everyone wants. And after holding all of the colors, yep. I mean, that's the one I want. That's the one we ordered for each of us. It is like it's just a cool looking, unique phone, I think. All right, so some other notes on this is still kind of unconfirmed, but on the spec pages for the phones on the Google Store listing suggests that these phones will get 3 years worth of OS and security updates. So that's a big deal because right now Nexus and Pixel phones get 2 years of OS updates and 3 years of security updates. But the Google Store page still says 3 years of both. So that's essentially an extra year of updates for these new Pixel phones. I don't believe Google has confirmed that with anyone. The wording is sort of vague just because it references a Google support page where you're supposed to double check and the new phones aren't listed there to confirm that that's actually changing. But that's kind of cool if that's the case, an extra year worth of. So that means you'll not only get P and
You'll get R.
Q, you'll get R. Yeah. That's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
So
true.
If true, yeah. There's always a chance Google will tweak that. These phones are the first, I believe the first in the US to include an eSIM, which is an embedded SIM card. It only works on Project Fi right now, but what that means is if you buy the phone, you turn it on the first time, you can activate Project Fi service without having to like insert a SIM card or order a SIM card or do any of that. Like you just start it up, walk through the process, sign up for Project Fi, and you're activated on their network, which is kind of cool. Google says that they will try to share their results of this sort of test of an eSIM with other people in hopes that other people will sign on and do the same thing. I kind of doubt that's going to happen anytime soon, but it would be kind of cool. It's sort of like the future, right? You can buy a phone and just activate the thing. You don't have to buy a phone, order a SIM card, head into a store. Like if you order a phone online and it doesn't come with a damn SIM card, you can still just activate it. It's kind of a cool little feature.
Yeah, well, if everyone in the future just started using eSIM, then we can use that slot for expandable storage. So there's no reason that all Android phones couldn't have expandable storage in the future if they still just want to use that slot, where a regular kind of SIM would go, that tray.
Yeah,
So,
and most phones do now, right? Except Pixel phones.
like, which is hysterical if we can just point out the irony in that. But yeah.
So just kind of a cool little thing. Who knows if Verizon's ever going to do that? They obviously want you to either order stuff from them online or head into stores so they can upsell you on things, do whatever the hell they want to do, right? I get it, but it is kind of a cool little feature. Yeah. I mentioned DxOMark. Look, you guys know like DxOMark around these parts, we don't really care what DxOMark has to say. In most situations, we tend to sort of poke fun at this idea that whatever DxOMark says means the best camera ever. But this week was a little interesting, right? So like a few days ago, they released their iPhone 8 Plus and iPhone 8 DxOMark scores, and it was like a 94 and a 92 or something, and it was the best ever. And we kind of wrote it up jokingly like, sucker Android, iPhone got you beat now, because like Android users have spent the last year going, the Pixel's the best, and the Galaxy S8's the best, whatever, right? They've been thrown at iPhone users. So we pointed out the fact that iOS or iPhones had jumped them, and then this week, like to kick off was it Monday or something like that? DxOMark pushed out their Note 8 score, and sure enough, it ties the iPhone 8 Plus with a 94. So it's like, ooh, Note 8's there, iPhone, and then we kind of joked like, well, the Pixel's coming out. Let's see, it's totally gonna like jump that now. And sure enough, they announce it, and the DxOMark score is at 98.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is that DxOMark alluded to something like this in the Note 8 review where they said, yeah, so for now, the Note 8 is king, but in the Android world, but who knows for how long, ... And then, boom, Pixel 8, or Pixel 8, the Pixel 2 comes in and just, like, crushes, at least on DxOMark,
right,
like, ranking system. They basically broke the ranking system.
And this so by the way, this is a ranking system they just revamped about a month ago because they had to factor in dual cameras and all this stuff. So they just redid this thing, and Google's camera almost puts up a perfect score.
Eric Ortiz says the iPhone X is going to come out with a 99. Dude, I'm going to one up you. I'm going to say it's going to come out with like a 102. And then we're all going to learn that the scale is not based on 100. It's based on like 150.
Right. Something like that. It's kind of comical. again, like we don't put much into these. I think we've known that the original Pixels cameras were amazing and some of the best. We know that Samsung's cameras are some of the best. We know the iPhone's cameras are some of the best. Like you can look at the pictures they take. You don't need DxO, but it's like a bragging thing, right? Which is why we kind of make fun of it because it's like, oh no, DxOMark says my phone's the best, and it's like, it's great. Just take pictures with the one you think is the best. Don't care what they say. But anyway, so right now, yeah,
Yeah.
Google
I like the way DxOMark does their testing. Like it seems very official, very legit. But then once you read the words they write and the scores they give, it's just odd. There's a lot of like gray area going on where it's like, okay, how did you come up with that? But I'm happy they got a high score. That's awesome. I cannot wait to start shooting with it.
right.
Damn, I'm not gonna like say that, okay, DxOMark is the word of God and this must have the best camera ever made. So it's ridiculous.
It is pretty ridiculous. So that did happen, and yeah, it was kind of comical. Let's see. So some more availability stuff. Verizon, we didn't mention this. They are the exclusive wireless carrier of the Pixel 2, Pixel 2 XL. So
Ooh.
yeah, and it was kind of funny. The morning of the event, they announced it before the phones had even been announced. Like their chief marketing officer like sent some tweet to like the Pixel team's chief marketing officer or something, or
Such
Google's.
a fail.
Yeah, and was like, awesome job, we did it again, exclusive. And we were just like, wait, what? And the chief marketing officer from Google responded to the dude, and she was like, yeah, it's awesome working with you. It was just weird. So anyway,
It's awkward.
they do have an exclusive. So that means the phone is not sold at T-Mobile or AT&T or Sprint. Again, they're fully unlocked and they work on all those carriers. But Verizon is the only carrier store you can walk into. You did mention earlier T-Mobile's running a deal. So T-Mobile running a deal where if you buy a Pixel, it could be the 2 or 2XL, I believe, and you carry it over to their airwaves and sign up for a new line or a new contract, new service, they will give you $325. Is that in the form of like a gift card, or is it an instant discount off of something? What is that?
Yeah, sadly, it's a MasterCard, like prepaid card, that you can use anywhere MasterCard is accepted, which is, I guess it's a growing number of places,
Yeah.
but it's not Visa.
So it is a gift card, and it probably shows up in like 25 weeks.
Well, they've gotten a lot better about that, but yes, it may take some time.
It'll probably at least 6 to 8 is what they usually say, I think.
Something like that.
So T-Mobile will give you some money for bringing it. They were driving. So I was
That's
at the
not bad.
event, and I think you included a picture of them.
Oh God, yes, I did.
So when I got dropped off outside of the event, I saw like a T-Mobile truck outside, and I was like, oh, maybe T-Mobile's like actually gonna sell this thing. And then I think it was 5 minutes later, you sent me that tweet from Verizon's marketing guy that was like, and you were like, did you see this? And I was like, oh no. And so then I went, oh, T-Mobile's just out here doing their troll
thing. Yeah.
T-Mobile is so funny. And so then, yeah, when you posted that thing up about them, and I was like, oh, that's a picture of the truck I saw driving around here. And it really was like driving around in circles around the block and stuff.
Mobile billboard.
Yes, it was. Yep. So that's happening. Also, if you buy the Pixel 2 or 2XL, you get a free Google Home Mini. Best Buy is honoring that. Google's definitely honoring that. I don't know about Verizon, but I would assume so. If you buy the phone from the Google store, they're going to send you a promo code later on that you just enter in to redeem your free Google Home Mini.
That's dope.
Yeah. So let's see. Software stuff. So Pixel 2, Pixel 2 XL, some stuff has changed. They have squeezy sides. You can get a little squeeze action in there. It launches Google Assistant. You cannot customize that at all. You can turn it off or on. It will also silence calls. So if you have a call coming in, you can grab your phone and squeeze it, and that'll silence it. Otherwise, you just squeeze it, and it launches Google Assistant. So it's not like the HTC U11 where you could fully customize long squeezes, short squeezes, whatever. It's just a squeeze, and you can adjust the sensitivity of it. I was telling Tim earlier, or just I think yesterday, like I actually kind of like it. Because I use Google Assistant quite a bit, and now I don't have to shout out the Google Assistant command all the time. If I just want to pick up my phone and get into a voice search, I just grab my phone, squeeze, do a little squeeze, and you can set the sensitivity to pretty low, so it doesn't take much. Do a little squeeze, pop up Assistant, ask it whatever the hell I want. I'm actually looking forward to that implementation of it. I did this when I had the U11. I kind of did the same thing. I set it to launch Google Assistant. So they did that. They also tossed in ambient always on display. So always on display is now on the Pixel phone, Pixel 2 and 2 XL anyway. It's not that interactive. Like it's always on, shows clock and little mini notifications. You still have to double tap to wake it, and then you can sort of interact with it. One cool thing it does, I don't know, is this cool? You tell me, you're a music guy. The always listening music thing, like you're in a coffee shop or you're at the store and music's playing and you can look at your phone and it'll just tell you. Like I think that's pretty cool. It'll tell
Yeah.
you what song is playing.
Yeah, I don't like, okay, the feature itself is cool, but allow me to like grab my tinfoil hat here. Like, I don't know if I'm okay with like trigger words, I guess, but something about the phone always listening or something like,
So
I don't
your
know if
environment at all time, it is always listening, right?
it's odd, but whatever algorithm they're using or whatever, like that's cool, you know, that it recognizes music and plays it. I won't find myself in like a Starbucks coffee shop like listening to jazz anytime too soon, but it's cool. It's cool. I'll just leave it at that.
The one thing I would say is like if you're in your car and a song comes on, say radio, Sirius, whatever, and instead of going like, "Hey Google, what is the?" Oh, no,
Wait, seriously, you can't just look at the display that shows what song and title is playing?
I guess that's true.
Okay, shut up, Google.
I was gonna try to reach over and mute that. That's true. I mean, yeah, I get that, but like some radio stations don't always show you the song that's playing, I guess.
Yeah, Scott says, Tim, it's already always listening. How else would it know when you say the hot word? I know. I don't like that either. Again, let me grab my tinfoil hat. I don't know if I'm okay with it because, you know, I'm not doing anything illegal. Google can hear what I'm talking about. I don't care. But it is weird, you know, that we allow these machines to hear everything that we say and ping off servers and all that. I might start a cult. That like is some type of conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, for Christmas, I'm just getting you like an endless supply of tinfoil.
I like it. I like it.
So that's a new feature though. You can turn that off and on as well, I believe. And then they changed up the Pixel launcher. So the Pixel launcher now, Google search bar down at the bottom, in between your row of dock icons and navigation bar. If you have extra pages and you swipe between them, it just stays at the bottom all the time. So you can always search and get to your favorite apps, whatever. And and then up top, there's now a new widget that shows you like if you have upcoming events that you need to do or whatever, it shows weather. And it's always changing. You can actually long press on that and customize a couple of options on that. We've had a number of people ask us if that launcher is coming to the Pixel and Pixel XL. We do not know. I would assume so. It's just the Pixel launcher.
It's just an app.
It's just an app.
It's
a Pixel experience on the new Pixel phones. I don't know why it wouldn't come to the current ones. I know people look back to and go, yeah, but remember the Pixel had a exclusive thing that the Nexus phones didn't get. Well, yeah, that was those are different phone lines.
We're talking about the Pixel.
Yeah. Right. So that I believe is a Pixel launcher. My assumption is that the Pixel launcher will get an update and Pixel XL owners will get the same experience. I don't know why they wouldn't. So
I just want to also comment that now would be a good time to bring up as I talk super slow in that widget during the press event. It showed ultra pixel secret meeting. Guys, that was totally BS. It was a joke. It was a troll by Google. That's not awesome, real. Yeah. It was great. It's just not real. I've had so many like tweets or I've seen tweets. It's just leave it alone, guys. It's not real.
We had a hand. Yeah. So what Tim's saying is during the Pixel 2 stuff, when they're walking through software and talking about Google Assistant, on that widget up top on the screen, it said like Pixel Ultra meeting, secret meeting or something in 5 minutes or something like that. It was totally, just Google trolling everyone about that fake Ultra Pixel thing. It was hilarious. But yeah, we got a handful of emails of people going, guys, did you see that? Did you see that? What do you think? What do you think? We're just like, it's just Google joking. Like that thing was not real.
I will say Google this was one of their best kind of keynotes or like press events I think that they've ever done in terms of joking and trolling. And like they trolled Apple, they trolled the audience. That thing. I mean, they trolled a ton. And typically I feel like they're pretty tame when it comes to that stuff. But this year they nailed it. Like the jokes were actually funny. Yeah. And I'm pretty harsh on people who like make jokes on stage, but that was some funny stuff.
It's because they were subtle.
So subtle.
It wasn't like, here's a giant graph of operating system updates. Ha ha, Android. Like that's Tim Cook's humor is ha ha, guys. This
Yeah,
is funny. Like, it was they were good. Yeah, it was a good presentation.
it was good.
Let's see. In terms of other changes, so there are like portrait modes in the camera now. I know portrait modes are such a big deal. There are portrait modes though for front and back cameras. Actually, if you guys do follow MKBHD, he took a picture. I think this has been floating around quite a bit, but he took a picture with the front camera with portrait mode on, and it's actually a pretty remarkable portrait mode style with the bokeh in the background. You should check it out. So that's like some of the capabilities of this camera. The camera's obviously insanely fast. It has like the video stabilization that we had from the Pixel and Pixel XL. That was crazy. Like they kind of went, we've come so far, right? Like Google was not a good camera company for a really, really long time, up until 5X and 6P, right? Before that, like even the Nexus 6's camera was not really very good. And now they're like the kings of smartphone cameras. It's kind of weird. Like they've flipped, like something happened. I don't know if they hired new people. Maybe we should like get to the bottom of that. But it's pretty crazy to see. So if you buy a Pixel phone, you essentially will have the best or one of the best camera experiences.
Yeah, did we mention it has a 98 on DxO mark? I mean, it should be pretty darn good.
Guys, I mean, it has a 98 on DxO. I mean, that's saying something.
Got to get that money.
So yeah, I think that's mostly it. Is running Android 8.0. We thought maybe it would come with 8.1.
8.0.1 maybe.
Yeah, something, but it is 8.0, so it's not like an extra new version that no one else has. I'm trying to think what else is new. I flipped through almost every setting in the phone to see new stuff. It really is pretty current to Android Oreo on the Pixel and Pixel XL that are out.
I assume it's pretty bare bones.
It is. Well, I mean, Google's actually adding on quite a bit of stuff these days. And you can tell, like, because I have the Essential phone, which I'm back on right now. And when you look at it, like, it has nothing, right? And when you start scrolling through a Pixel phone now, like, there are settings everywhere. And they're hard to find. With the gestures and the double click to launch the camera and the twist to flip the camera. Like, there's a bunch of stuff. Like, Google's really, really starting to customize Android for these phones. I mean, you could start, if we're being serious now, they're starting to add their own bloat to Android. While I do like the stuff they're adding, you have to admit that Google's customizing Android pretty heavily at this point. Maybe not the look and the UI. They're starting to add on stuff. The thing is, they're doing it Motorola style, which we've always liked, which is leave the UI clean, add on stuff to the side, kind of.
That's a really hot take you had there. I mean, that could be like a good opinion piece. Yeah, Google is adding bloatware to Android. That could be good.
Yeah. Opinion. Be careful, Google. It might get bloated in here.
Woo. Those are pretty good.
Oh, man. All right. So what else is there to say about these phones? What are we missing?
Well, the kind of blue one is kind of ugly. I think that's pretty much like that was one thing I noticed.
Yeah, I would well, being the Verizon exclusive thing is stupid for one, but when I ordered us a Pixel 2 to keep on hand after reviews and stuff like that, and I think I went just black. It was either going to be that or clearly white. I didn't even consider the kind of blue because I'm with you. It's really not that. It doesn't look that cool. Like last year's blue on the Pixel was awesome. Like
the actual blue phone. Yeah, it's
like that blue is great. The kind of blue, just it kind of sucks.
Yeah, kind of blue kind of sucks.
Yeah. Let's see what else. In hand, I kind of talked about this in my video a little bit earlier, but they do feel different. Pixel 2 XL, it just felt more premium to me. I don't know if that was weight to it. I don't know if that was the finish on the backside. Like the Pixel 2, there's like this subtle soft texture to it. Not quite as crazy as like OnePlus's old, what was that black stuff called that was all sandstone? The sandstone black. It's not like that crazy, but there is like a subtle texture to it. I didn't necessarily notice that as much on the 2XL. So it just felt more premium. I said this in the video, like the Pixel 2 just, it feels a little on the cheaper end when it's next to like the in-hand feel next to the 2XL. I know there's been quite a bit of discussion around the design of the 2XL and the fact that it has bezel and all that stuff. Look, it's not the prettiest phone you're ever going to see. Like when you put it up against the V30 or the Galaxy S8. I don't think it's going to win the pretty award there. I think it's unique, especially on the backside. And then the front, like, look, it's still mostly all display. Yes, there's some bezel.
There's speakers. There's dual stereo speakers. What are people complaining about? I mean, do they
I think
want good audio?
I
Or
think side bezel is what people are.
it's not that bad. You may be not have as many accidental touches like you would have on some Samsung devices. I mean, maybe it's a good thing. Y'all don't know.
I don't know. I know we've hammered on phones for having bezel before. Well, look, we just hammered on the Pixel 2 for its massive top and bottom bezels. I don't know, the Pixel 2 XL, I'm not turned off by the look. Like I said, it is not the prettiest looking phone on the front I've ever seen, but it's not terrible by any means. It's pretty modern. It just has a little bit of bezel. I'm not that worried about it. I think it's still going to be awesome. I think it's going to be a great phone. I think it's going to be a tough phone to top. Like, if you're like us and we're kind of Android purist guys, actually, I'll be interested to see how you react to it, because you really like the Note 8. So I'll be interested to see what you think comparatively. Like, they're obviously going to be similar size, but
I can pretty much already confirm that I'm going to like the Pixel 2 more, just because like I'm just that kind of guy where now that I'm back on the Pixel XL. And I've fallen in love with Oreo and just the way that whole thing works. I just feel myself gravitating more towards stock Android, but I can recognize that the Note 8 is an awesome phone with way too many features that half of which I don't even use. Yeah. It's got an S Pen. It's got killer battery life. I mean, we have a lot of stuff to find out about the Pixel 2 still. So,
yeah, we do.
And we have like months to go before it arrives.
Yes, we do. One thing that was, you mentioned some of the jokes and stuff they tossed out. They made fun of the fact that they couldn't make enough Pixels last year. And they suggested, like, we're hopefully going to be able to make enough of these Pixel 2 and Pixel 2 XLs. So far, we're not off to a great start. I mean, if you go to the Google Store, Verizon, or Best Buy, and you want that black and white Pixel 2 XL, all of those places, it's like massively delayed out there. Like we just said, up to December and beyond. So not a great start. I don't know if that has to do with the V30, which we'll talk a little bit about later. But the V30 is essentially releasing at the same time, and they use the same display for the most part. This obviously has to be some sort of custom panel for Google, because it's built with glass that has speakers and stuff top to the bottom. But essentially the same 6-inch POLED display, right? And so LG has to make those for two phones. I don't know how they've worked that out there. I don't have a lot of positive vibes there in terms of them being able to make enough of these damn phones. And I think it's going to come down to the display panels again, unfortunately, just like it supposedly did last year. So, all right, anything else with these two phones?
I don't think so. I'm really excited to get it in hand long time from now. Joe was asking if we already received review units. No, but as soon as we do, you guys will know, because we're gonna do unboxings and all that stuff. We would not be doing this show right now if we had the Pixel 2 in house.
We probably wouldn't. We would probably just be doing stuff with it.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
We'll know. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah, assuming we can tell you.
Assuming we can tell you.
Yeah, that's about all we can say about that at this point.
At this point, we can tell you that we don't have it.
But yeah, we can tell you that we don't have that. And we're not like lying on that. We don't. If we did, I would show it to you, or I would hint at something.
I have the really blue one.
Yeah. Something. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for the phones.
That's a lot. I mean, we just spent 40 minutes talking about the phones. We have a lot of else to talk about.
I do. All right, so we'll move out of there, and let's talk Google Home. I think I would argue that the Google Home stuff was probably second place to Pixel at the. I mean, the Pixel Buds were a cool demo. We'll get to those too. All right, so Google Home. They announced Google Home Mini, which we know quite a bit about because we revealed a whole bunch to everyone. It is $49. You get a free one if you buy Pixel 2s. Comes in 3 colors. It is a mini Google Home. I have one on my desk right there, so I can't really show it to you because it's plugged in, but I do have one. And it actually gets really loud I guess I should say it gets really loud compared to what I thought it would. I don't know that it picks up my voice any better than the There's one behind me somewhere. Anyway, then the regular Google Home, like I always complain about it struggles to pick up my voice. I feel like this one may be a little better. I don't know, but it's a mini Google Home with not as powerful as speakers, so you're not going to necessarily blast music out of it. But it is now affordable, and you can put it in more rooms if you want, and you don't have to spend $130 on the bigger unit. So far, I do like it. Like I have it just tucked on my desk right here. I can access it pretty easily. Yeah, it's a mini Google Home. You guys get that?
Wow.
The somewhat surprising announcement was the Google Home Max that they announced after the mini. It is is it a Sonos competitor? I can't really figure out. It's like its own thing. So the Google Home Max, as the name suggests, is a big old speaker. It's a big old rectangular box speaker, but it's the same sort of fabric-y front that you've got on the Mini and that you've seen on the regular Google Home. You can lay it flat or stand it up. It's obviously wired, but it's got like a couple of woofers in it, right? Like they talked about all the bass it produces. And then, of course, they talked about it has AI built in because it's so smart. And it'll adjust to your room. It's the same stuff that Google announced with HomePod a few months ago. So the music experience is obviously the big focus here. You can actually set up two of them to act as stereo speakers too. It costs $400 though, right?
Yep.
Max. So $400. It's definitely not cheap. But they obviously put in as much as they could there. It's not arriving till like December or something like that. It's not coming for a while. So Google Home Max, it obviously has the assistant in it, and it's supposed to have even smarter, better microphones that even if you have music playing really, really loudly, you could say the hot word. We're just gonna keep calling it the hot word, and it'll react to you and tell you what's going on. So I think they look cool. But $400 that's pretty pricey. I mean, you have to be serious about music or investing in music if you want to buy one of these bad boys. Coming two colors, charcoal and chalk.
Yeah.
I think they look cool.
Sure,
like I'm tempted to like sell off all my Sonos products, just get like a couple of those. Because I would rather have assistant like Sonos, which we haven't even written up because we've been so busy this week. Sonos announced an Alexa. Announced an Alexa powered speaker. And it may have Google Assistant someday, but now that's kind of the thing. Like if you have a speaker in your house, I almost feel like you kind of want it to double as an assistant too.
Why not?
Right. So they look cool, but $400. I mean, that's a lot. It's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
Yep, it is.
For a speaker.
It is. But again, that doesn't come out for a while here. Oh, Steven in the chat just asked about Google Lens. We didn't talk about that on the Pixel 2. So Google Lens. What's to say about Google? So Google Lens was announced at I/O, and it's like Bixby Vision. That's like the only way I can really compare it. So Google Lens, you can fire it up in the camera and point it at objects. I think it translates. You can point it at objects, and it'll like show you them more information about them. That could be like a book, a movie, or like a landmark. It could be a number of things. What else does it do? I'm not trying to be like super down on Google Lens. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. Maybe I'm wrong. Am I missing something with Google Lens?
No, I mean, I think I said this last week or on Monday when we did our preview show, but Google Lens is just services that have already existed rolled into a single package. I mean, like I can do all that translation stuff. I can do with Google Translate. Like it's no big deal. Google Goggles has existed since the beginning. So we've had this type of stuff before.
Yeah, it's just like in a single app. And I thought we were supposed to get this a long time ago. And now they're saying it's like coming almost as a beta or preview on the new Pixel phone. So it's not even coming to everyone yet.
So it's just like Bixby.
So it is just kind of like Bixby.
Except cooler.
So I think it's a neat added on feature.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm fully into the Lens as a game changer. Like I know Bixby Vision is actually pretty crappy, I think. I'm sure this will be somewhat better because Google's smarts behind it rather than Samsung smarts. But I don't know. I'm not blown away by that. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it.
Yeah.
All right, back to Google Home. So Mini and Max. Mini
Mini
you
and
can
Max.
pre-order $49. It comes out on the 19th, I believe. Max is $400. You can't pre-order anything yet, but it will come out in December, supposedly. Let's see. So they also talked just about Google Home features and stuff that are coming. Lots of assistant stuff obviously was at the event as well, but like some of the new features are like a broadcast feature. If you have minis or homes throughout your house, you can say like broadcast kids, let's leave the house now, or you're grounded, like, and that'll broadcast everywhere in your house, things like that. They announced a whole bunch of family like games and activities and stuff like that. Obviously you can make calls, but you can attach your phone number now. When they first announced calling, only Google Voice and 5 people could attach their phone number to it for caller ID purposes on the other end. Now everyone can add a phone number to that. What else did they announce? There was like a whole bunch of home stuff, I feel like. Well, we got a refreshed home app like the day of or day before. There's a night mode now. There's lots of stuff there. I don't know. Google Home, I'm more impressed with, I think, by the day, because I think like Google's really rolling out feature after feature. Like I wrote up a piece yesterday where like I poked fun at the fact that we complained about it not being able to do reminders for so long. But even though they couldn't do something simple like reminders, they were constantly rolling out more stuff. And it's like a fully featured bad boy now. Like I have Nest cameras and I can tell it to like put Nest on the monitor behind me, like any camera I want, because that has a Nexus player attached to it, which is like things like that I think are cool. Like I can just say like hot word, put backyard camera on there and it'll go, okay.
Hot word.
Hot word is right. Let's see. So Google Home Mini Max stuff, you getting any of that?
Probably not. Like
How
I'm
many Google
still
Homes do you have right now? One or two?
I have one. Every other Google Home I've ever gotten, I've given away.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I've got the one, and then I still want Spot. You know, like I want my NVIDIA Shield TV to be my hub, and I want Spot just to be throughout my house, like in every wall outlet.
I really feel like that thing's canceled and Nvidia just won't say.
It's not, dude. It's gotta be real. I believe Spot is love. Uh, I just I mean, it
It was
just makes so
announced
much more
10
sense.
months ago. 10 months ago.
They said it would come later in the year.
They did.
They specifically mentioned that NVIDIA Shield has to get, or Shield TV has to get Google Assistant and then Spot.
Which it just did. So
Shield TV
we'll
just got Assistant. We are so close. I can feel it.
all right.
So that's what I want. Just because it makes so much more sense to me, because I don't know if I necessarily need like little speakers around my house. You know, I just need the little microphones attached to my system around the house. So
in an outlet rather than on a table with a giant cord
taking
hanging
up
out.
space. Exactly.
Yep. All right. So we'll move out of Google Home then, since you don't seem to want any Google Home units.
Bye. Well, I mean, Mini's cool. It's not that it's $50. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a Google Home already, pick up a Mini.
Yeah, for sure. They seem kind of like no-brainer. Well, and they're just going
It is a
to keep
no-brainer.
giving them out. They're going to keep giving them away too if you buy things. So
Exactly.
all right. So Pixelbook was announced.
Pixelbook.
So this is another device we first revealed as the new high-end Chromebook Pixel replacement. One thing though, our pricing was off. They're actually cheaper than we had reported, which is awesome.
That's great.
So instead of starting at, what did we have it at, 1,200?
Yeah, $11.99.
Yeah, it's actually starts at 1,000. So it is a high-end Chromebook, designed by Google and all that. It's kind of pixely designed with there's like a white plate on it with the G logo. Like it kind of matches the Pixel designs. It folds into a tablet, so it is a convertible Chromebook. And yeah, it starts at $999. And then it goes up from there. So it runs Intel Core i5 or i7 processors. You can go anywhere from 128 gig up to 512 gig of storage, 8 gig RAM up to 16 gig RAM. Has 2 USB Type-C ports and a headphone jack. And I think that's it for ports. There is no SD card slot, which is just complete BS. 12.3-inch Quad HD LCD touch panel. The Pixelbook pen is official. That is $99. the Pixelbook pen. Okay, we got to get crowd reaction on this. So the Pixelbook pen takes a battery, like a quad A little battery. You like twist it open or something, throw a battery. They supposedly last up to a year. I don't know that I believe that, depending on how much you use it. Um, Tim can't believe that it runs on a battery. I'm not offended by that. Explain why you're offended that a $99 stylus runs on a battery, a replaceable battery, I should say.
Yeah, I think that's all cool and gravy, but we're talking a $99 product. Like Apple, like sure, Apple's implementation of recharging their pen or their pencil is terrible and it looks ugly, but at least it makes sense. You don't have to pry it open, put in a new battery. You don't have to go to Radio Shack or order it on Amazon. A quad A battery. I haven't seen a quad A battery in the 28 years I've been on this planet. I've never seen
one either.
Personally. Yeah, like AAA is fine, AA is cool. I've never even heard of a quad A.
No one has.
Anyway, and it's $99, dude. This should be I told Artem on Twitter, I was hoping we would get into a little argument, but he just never responded. He probably doesn't respond to negativity. I told him this is a $39 product. I just $99 for a stylus. I'm just not feeling it, personally, especially one that I have to twist open and put a new battery in. $50 is fine, but $99? Come on, get out of here.
It's
no one's using the quad A. Oh, Jason says the Surface Pen uses the same quad A.
How much does the Surface Pen cost?
It's probably like $99.
It's probably free.
Oh yeah, but either way, I'm not using. Oh, and Sean's quad A is common, dude. It can't be that common. I've never used one.
I've never seen one. The Surface Pen apparently is about $99 too. I think
it must just be the same damn thing. Like
probably the same pen. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not a huge. Like I know you need the Pixel Pen if you're getting the Pixelbook, but to have it cost $99 to be like such a necessary accessory, you think Google would be like, oh, let's include it, like if you pre-order or make it $50. Like, there's no way the stylus costs $99. Their margins must be like 500%.
Well, it's like, do you really think the Pixelbook should cost like $1,500 maxed out? No, but or the Pixel. You just said the Pixel phone at $649. Like Google's just charging a premium for its products because it wants to charge a premium for them.
I totally agree with that too. I mean, the Pixelbook is just a glorified Chrome OS machine. Like you're trying to tell me Chrome OS is worth $1,000 with beta Android apps, dude? That's so BS. Come on. Come on, you're breaking me here.
I mean, we've hammered on the fact that both of us are like, I don't know how many people are going to buy this. Although I will say,
it's tempting.
That I on that day I was like, I sent out like a tweet that was like, talk me out of buying this thing, and a whole bunch of people were like, they were like, well, yeah, a lot of people said do it, but a whole bunch of people said, I bought one, you should buy one. So there is a market for these things out there, even as that may come as a shock to you and I. I do want one. I just don't have like I've talked about. I have like the 2-year-old one, and it still works fine. Like I don't need like the convertible stuff.
Yeah, there's a saying about fools and their money and how quickly they are parted. There's just, I mean, you guys got ripped off. I mean, IMO, y'all can spend your money however you want, and I'm not trying to be rude, but like, come on, $1,000 for a Chrome OS machine. You could get the Samsung Chromebook Plus or the Pro for around $500. It comes with an S Pen. It converts and twists just like the Pixelbook. Come on, people. I get it. Like I will say, Pixelbook is premium as hell, and it looks pretty cool. But $1,000? There's just no way. There's just no way.
Buy what you want to buy.
Buy what you want to buy. This is America. And I will defend to the death your right to buy whatever the hell you want to waste your money on. But doesn't mean I have to. I don't have to agree with it, but I'll defend it.
So some other stuff here. It does this handoff thing where if you have terrible Wi-Fi and your new Pixel phone sitting right next to it, it'll like auto connect and pull like tethering style. That's kind of neat.
It's cool.
It does do fast charging, which is a big deal.
You'd hope so.
The pen has fancy stuff like angular awareness and pressure sensitivity, 2000 levels of pressure sensitivity. So there's some stuff going on there. They obviously put some time and energy into this bad boy, but yeah, it's the Pixelbook. It's the Pixelbook.
Yes.
Many versions of it are actually almost sold out already. So I don't know how many they made, but
5.
people are buying the hell out of this thing.
Yeah, Scott says Google is going hard competing against Apple and Microsoft. Minus the fact that you can't run Photoshop on a Chromebook. You can have a janky, like web-based, app-based version, maybe. But
the Android app. I think they actually, with Photoshop, they actually have made it work fairly well. Obviously, it's not full-blown Photoshop.
It's not full-blown Photoshop. Let's be real.
It is Photoshop.
Like an extension of Photoshop. So I guess I'll never understand.
The maxed out version, the i7 16 gig 512 is join waitlist. So I don't know if they made like 10 or if they didn't sell it at all, but it's join, or people actually bought it. I should give people that option too.
That's crazy.
You can't. Yeah, the maxed out version that costs, I don't know how much it costs. It won't even tell me. It's join waitlist only, just so you know.
Well, these people obviously have money to blow, so buy me one, and maybe I can get convinced about why it's so cool too, because that's ridiculous. Hopefully, Google at least sends us one to like review, maybe, or something.
I'm hoping so. I want to play with one. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they look cool, but come on.
Pretty great.
Yeah.
All right. Moving out of Pixelbook. So Pixel Buds were announced. The Pixel Buds are what you think. They're Google earbuds. They are not fully wireless. I think they're calling them wireless buds, which technically they are. They're not like true wireless. There is a wire running between the two buds. It is sort of a skinny little like rope looking wire though. And they are not cheap. They're $159. And they only last like 5 hours on a charge of listening time, which is that good? I can't tell if they're not. Like Jaybird's, most of their buds, I know they might not be as fancily designed as these, but they last like 8 to 10 hours mostly. These are 5 hours.
Definitely better than those Gear Icon X buds from Samsung.
Yeah, that's true. Those things don't last anything.
20
so
minutes.
The standout feature, at least that Google showed on these, well, so they have like touch controls and all this stuff. They have Google Assistant on board, so you can get your notifications and do all that fun stuff there and talk to Google Assistant. But on stage, it was cool. They showed like real-time translation of two people having a conversation. And I know it was a demo, but I'm assuming it was real. And it was fast. I mean, it was like, dude spoke to someone in a different language, and it translated like that into her language. And then she spoke back in her language, and it translated like that instantly into English for that guy. Like it was instant. It was pretty cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Like it was so cool. And
like it's not like the Google Translate app on your phone. Like if you can have a conversation with someone where it translates back and forth, but it like thinks, and it's not that fast. I mean, it just was.
It's not as seamless as it was shown on stage. And I think without that demo, we wouldn't have seen these Pixel Buds sell out almost instantly. Like I mean, they were gone quick. But it was a sweet demo. Got to admit. I mean, if you think about the implementation of if you travel abroad or something, and just being able to like actually speak with someone that seamlessly, I mean that's huge. That's huge.
You can still buy them right now, but they're 7 to 8 weeks out. I don't know what the launch date for them was, or maybe they restocked. I don't know, but
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, though they it was cool. I like we talked about the other day. Like I don't have anyone to talk to in another language, unfortunately. So that part doesn't matter to me, but it was cool. And I don't know if they can make that. Like, I guess what I'm getting at is it'd be cool if they could find a way to make them more affordable. Not necessarily these ones, but like find another version or something that's more affordable, like a one-piece bud. Because this seems like something that could be really handy in other countries around the world, not just like in the US where we all speak English for the most part. Not all of us. That's not even fair.
I know, like we're a melting pot, bro. Like,
yeah, I guess they probably would come really in handy here. I just again live in a bubble.
I thought you were progressive. You're not progressive at all.
I live in a bubble.
That's true. Everyone in the Pacific Northwest lives in a bubble. So I'm gonna let you slide on that one.
Thank you for letting me slide. I guess the big point is more affordable so that they're more reachable for more people to be able to use that technology is really what I'm trying to say.
One day. I mean, this is like the first iteration, right? We're just
Yeah,
now seeing Google Assistant come to these headphones and earbuds and all that. So maybe next year we'll see cheaper
something,
versions.
something. All right, so the other product they announced was something. All right, well, they announced a Daydream View. It's more expensive at 99 bucks. It has slightly better field of view, and there's like a heat sink in the flap now to try to let some of that heat out of, of your phone because Daydream actually heats up the hell out of your phones. And they made like one other change. Oh, they added a top strap because before it used to just be a side strap, and it's 20 bucks more. That's kind of it though, if anyone's interested.
Hmm.
One of the more interesting items they announced was called Google Clips. And
Interesting. Stupid.
yeah, okay, so let's try to explain. So Google Clips is a camera. It's not only that, it's a $250 camera, has a clip on the back, hence the name Clips. Well, sort of. I mean, the clips are what it also takes. But it can clip to things. And the camera, you turn it on and you have some control over it through an app or there is a shutter button. But the idea is you turn it on, set it somewhere, and then it uses Intel AI. That's all we talk about anymore. Yeah. It uses all these smarts to then take clips at the moments that matter or of the people that you are around that it learns about and stuff like that. And it creates like these little GIFs, right? It takes some picture, but creates like these little animated GIFs. Like it doesn't do video. Uh, it just takes pictures. And then you go in the app later on and see what kind of cool stuff it hopefully took. And then you can save those to your phone and share them and all of that good stuff. And that's it, right? Am I explaining that? Am I missing something there with Google Clips?
No, I mean that's about it. I mean the real, I guess, heart of the product is the AI. The
Right.
fact that it learns and knows when it should take a shot and you just let it do its job. Uh I don't know if I trust AI to make sure that it
Tinfoil
cap.
hat. Whoop.
Yeah, no. I want to make sure that this thing is going to be able to capture like some kid's first steps in the living room, or something ridiculously cool. And hopefully it does. I have no idea, but I just think for $250, I think the product is just sort of a waste of money. Again, like I'm big on like this whole, is it worth that? Like I just don't get it. So everyone's got a camera with a phone. Like I don't know why I would want to move the clip. You've got to move it, right? It's not just going to capture everything perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, they showed some examples of like setting it down in front of where your kids are playing, right? And catches all these little clips of them playing and stuff, like maybe some angles you couldn't get, or you're like over here doing something else or whatever. So it has some uses. I guess that's like one of those things I need to look more into because as they were announcing it, like we were not only working on other stuff, but it was it seemed like a tough sell. Like it did some cool stuff and it's apparently really smart. Like when
Sure.
you pick it up, like it's smart enough not to just like snap a picture of your hand and things like that. And if you put it like in a dark place, it's not going to be recording. It doesn't record any audio, so it's not like constantly recording your voice and things like that. It does have a shutter button if you want to just manually snap photos.
Sure.
But yeah. I'm trying to think of a situation in life where I would want this. And I do have a kid, but
Well, you would
he's
put
like
it.
4 now. Like he just runs all like there's no way
Yeah.
I'd be able to set it one place and it would snap a bunch of stuff.
Well, maybe if this was like a year or so ago, you could put it like on his little train set or something, and
That's
he could
true.
like he can get some sweet angles and stuff. But
Yeah.
Google Clips. I mean, Ryan D in the chat says Clips is to data mine. And I totally agree with you. What Google is doing is going to use Clips to 3D map your house. And it's
Right,
gonna have
right.
your voice, it's gonna have your movements within the house, it's gonna have everything. And Google will then sell that information to the US government.
It totally comes off as like a device made just to get a camera in your house to take pictures of your entire house and everything in it and all that. That's totally what it seems like.
It could
Um
seem like that.
it I don't think it does. It doesn't broadcast Wi-Fi. Like that's how it connects to your phone. Is that what it does?
It does connect to
Sharing
your
it
wireless
once,
network
safe and
because it
secure.
uploads straight to Google Photos.
Well, so it doesn't do, and you have to pull that stuff to your phone. At least as that's how they were trying to explain. Because they were trying to say like it doesn't automatically send anything anywhere. You have to do it.
Uh,
So because they were
I
trying
haven't
to make
looked
it sound
into
like it was super private, right? Like if I'm looking at the page, I think it says privacy like 10 times. It's totally private.
People are pointing out that there's no mic on Google Clips. I'm referencing Google
Right.
Home and your phone, so they have all aspects covered. Believe me.
Yeah,
And
they're gonna
try
be
and tell me
everywhere.
there's not some hidden mic in Google Clips. They're totally. I mean, come on. We'll do a teardown once we get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, you guys got me all wrong. I don't care. I think it's cool, but for $250, give me a break. Come on, that's all I
has
care about.
16 gig of onboard storage. It is safe and secure. Um, I don't know. Maybe we'll get one in house and I'll play with it and report back. Right now,
Report back.
I don't know why I need one, and I do have a child. But maybe that's the thing. Maybe I'll get one, throw it around, snap some pics of him, and I'll be like, "This is the coolest thing ever." They kind of made it out to be like a kid and pet cam. Like that was how they sold it. They were like for kids and pets. And if you look on their website, it's like little clips of kids and pets. And some dude's kid trying to dunk and him just swatting the hell out of him. That's pretty funny, actually. Get that out of here.
That trash.
So, I don't know. Maybe I'll get one and report back. Maybe it's like a hidden gem of technology that we're just not giving a fair shake to him.
It's totally
Is
possible.
anyone in the chat saying like, hell yeah, I want this thing?
No.
Okay. So, no. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So was that the last like hardware product they announced? I feel like there was they announced the made for Google like accessory line is kind of a big deal now. So if you go to the Google store, well, number one, the Google store now is only Google products. So yesterday there was a little bit of freak out around the tech media that there's no more Android Wear listed on the Google store. But it was actually just Google cleaning house, and they're flipping it to a Google only store. So the last two watches that were on there were the Watch Sport and Watch Style. Those are LG products, so they're gone. Google doesn't make a Pixel watch, which hopefully they will at some point if they care about Android Wear. So those are gone. Anyways, if you go on the store now, it is all Google stuff. And there's a whole accessory section, whereas like the section where you'll find some stuff not made by Google, but it's made for Google, like officially. So you'll see like the Pixelbook pens in there, and they have a whole bunch of new cases, and you'll find your adapters. And they partnered with like Libratone to create headphones that are officially supported. Otterbox has some official cases and things like that. Moments, photo cases where you can put those swappable lenses on. There's all those sorts of stuff. And then you also find the Moshi USB-C to 3.5 millimeter adapter charger, which has a USB port and 3.5 millimeter adapter, and it's $45. You find some things like that on there. If you want to replace your USB-C to 3.5 millimeter just straight up single adapter, like the one that comes in the box, they want $20 for it. Doesn't Apple only charge like $9 for a replacement Lightning 3.5 millimeter adapter?
Something like that. I mean, you can find a little headphone jack dongle for like $2 on Amazon.
I think they're all trash though. That's the problem. Like maybe someone will start making decent ones now.
Maybe.
But yeah, Google wants $20 to replace the U. It's not like it has a DAC built in or something. Like they want $20 for a damn adapter after taking away your headphone jack. That's offensive.
It's pretty Apple-ish of them.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm telling you, I think somebody keeps tweeting me about all this stuff, and I think Apple wants $9 for theirs. Because I remember there was backlash when they first killed the headphone jack with the iPhone 7, I think it was.
Right.
They wanted like $20 or $30 or something crazy for their adapter. And like within a day after backlash, they like cut the price down, I think, to like $9 or whatever it is.
Let's find out. I mean, there's only one way to confirm, right? Yep. $9 for Lightning to 3.5 millimeter headphone jack.
Yeah.
So Google,
what are you doing there, Google? Yeah.
And it's rated, well, their Lightning adapter is rated 1 star on their own store. So
that's not good.
Yeah. Lucas in the chat says, Tim and Kellen, what do you guys think? Do you miss Nexus days, or is this new Google hardware making what you want? I'll let you answer first.
I am fully on board with this massive Google hardware ecosystem. I love it, actually. I thought before this, it never felt like this cohesive unit of stuff. It was just like Google always does, just throw crap out there. Like they had Nexus phones, and like this guy was making this one, this guy was making this one. Doesn't have this feature, it might. This one's cheap, this one's not. And then there was like the Nexus Q, and then there was then there's Chromecast. It just seemed like everything was all over the place. Now it feels like Google goes, we're making sweet hardware. I like the designs of all of this stuff for the most part. I like where this direction is headed. Do the prices kind of suck? Yeah, but look, Google's trying to be they're trying to compete with Apple and Samsung in terms of the quality and the view of their products. They want to compete at that top tier. I'm not going to like trash them for that's their decision. Do I miss the days of 299 Nexus phones? Yeah, but like even OnePlus phones are like $500 now. So I just think we're screwed in general as consumers when it comes to that stuff. I like the direction of all of this. I think the designs are cool. I think Google's doing at least some fairly innovative stuff in terms of trying to, and a lot of people don't like this, right? Like you talked about the privacy stuff, like they want to be integrated into your entire life at this point. It's not just like, here's a phone, here's a Chromecast. Now it's like, here's a phone, here's a home, here's Android TV, here's a computer, here's this creepy AI camera. Like we want to be everywhere so that we can help you with your life. And I'm fully into that. Like I want technology to like make my life better. So I'm totally on board.
Yeah, took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly how I feel. I like the single kind of brand, the image that Google is creating. And, we're not giving a crap about who's actually making the hardware, whether it be LG or HTC. I mean, we'll still tell you about it because, it's kind of important. Yeah. But this is Google. This is Pixel. And that's all you need to be concerned about as consumers. And I appreciate that. I'm liking the products. I've always liked the Nexus phones, but I mean, now we're getting two phones every year now instead of just like one. Like, remember when all we got was the Nexus or the Nexus 6, the
whale,
the Shamu, and that was our only option, and that was like the worst year ever because I hated that phone. It was just so big. Yeah. Now we've got two phones to choose from. Everything's good. Life's grand. So I'm digging it.
Yeah, I'm just really excited about the direction of it all. They host like a serious hardware event where they announce all this stuff. You can tell like they are actually a real hardware company now. This isn't just like a side project anymore. And so I think that's cool because so our choices in the past have been, well, Apple makes everything. Well, I should say everything, but like people geared towards them because they had computers, right? And then they had their phone line and their tablets. And so Apple had that like early start. And then all of the other like good manufacturers of like smart home products all went to Apple first and things like that, right? So you were like, there was always this feeling that Apple kind of got the cooler stuff first. With Google now making everything, I no longer feel like that's the case. Like I feel like as a consumer of Google products over Apple products, like it sort of makes you kind of feel proud in a way. Like now I have all the cool stuff too. And in a way, a lot of the stuff is much cooler, I think, at least if you're a big Google fan, than the Apple stuff, right? Like I like these phones better, obviously. I think the Google Home options that you have rather than just an expensive home pod, like that's cool. Like the Pixelbook, granted, you and I probably won't own a Pixelbook, but like that's a cool computer. If you like Chrome OS. But so like I feel like Google's doing all the stuff. They have a Daydream headset. They have their own Pixel Buds with Assistant. Like, I don't know. Like I just feel like they're making cool products. And that's nice to see finally, rather than just some like off-brand developer stuff that only nerds got excited about.
Man.
Like I think it would be cool for Google's hardware to be a mainstream thing. Like like Samsung's everywhere. You walk down the street, you see lots of iPhones, you see lots of Galaxy phones. I think it would be cool to be like, see Google phones everywhere. I don't know that like that's like that important to most people, but like we cover this stuff for a living. Like when I go out and like everyone has the same damn phone, like that sucks. I want people to have new other different stuff.
Yeah,
And so with Google taking this stuff seriously, maybe that'll start happening.
maybe.
But maybe then it'll just be three, right? Maybe then it'll just be Samsung, Apple, and Google, and then I guess that defeats the whole point of everything I just said. But anyway, I do like the direction.
Yeah, to answer your question, we like it.
We like it, yeah. So let's see. We talked a little bit about just a huge Google Assistant focus. So again, I wrote a piece yesterday just talking about Google Assistant, where I think it's come in the last few months in particular, and it really helps. I think it really is ready to like help you with your life. And I think it's just like one of those things where I think we should all actually give it a shot and maybe try to use it more, because I think it does a whole bunch of cool stuff you probably don't realize. Anyway, I don't want to go into that on the show necessarily, but if you want to read that, feel free to. Let's see. So I talked a little bit about Nest. So Nest announced some stuff Google Assistant related. Like I said, you can now, and this is live already, you can have the Google Assistant pull up your Google or your Nest cameras if you have Chromecast or Android TV. I think their announcement said Chromecast. And maybe that just meant Chromecast units and Chromecast built in. But if you have an Android TV unit, you could like say, Google cast over here to my TV, and it'll do that. But they also announced with Assistant this thing called Google Routines, which you can set up a routine where you can say like, Google, I'm home, and then it'll set your temperature on your Nest, turn your lights on, turn your cameras off if you had them on or something as you left or something like that, right? So you can say like a command and it'll do a whole bunch of different things. And Nest has announced that they're supporting that. And then the other thing, which is back to this AI creepiness that we've been talking about, is the Nest Hello video doorbell will be smart enough with the Google Assistant that as somebody approaches your door, if it recognizes them, like if it's your mom, it'll like broadcast throughout your house, like your mom's at the door.
Don't let her in.
Yeah. Or like maybe it started recognizing like your UPS guy, you know, you have the same guy, or the mail guy. I don't know, but it could start recognizing who people are, especially if it sees them enough. So
that's cool.
Kind of creepy, but it's kind of cool. I mean, like instead of just your doorbell going off, like Google Home just goes, your brother's here. Like that's
great.
Kind of cool, I guess. Yeah.
So now Google is data mining the outside of your house now too. It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already got the street views and all that. I mean, they've really got society on lockdown. It's crazy.
Yeah. So we ran a poll and said, what has you most pumped about Google's press event? And Pixel 2 topped the charts there.
Pixel 2 or XL?
Sorry, 2XL. Sorry, Pixel 2 XL. Not surprising. Then Google Home Mini, then the Pixel Buds, then the Pixel 2, then Home Max, then the Pixelbook, then Google Clips, and then the poor little Daydream View down there. But that sounds about right. I mean, 2XL, obviously. Google Home Mini, just because like it's only $49, everyone can kind of grab one now.
That's great. Poor Pixel 2. I mean, I was looking at it, I was like, dude, look at these bezels, man. Like, what are they thinking? No one's going to want this phone. It's kind of fugly. I'm not a fan of the Pixel 2.
It's not terrible looking. Like the back looks cool because it looks, like the 2XL, but
take your Google goggles off, bro. It's not that hot.
The front is not.
It looks like an old phone.
It does. It does look like an old
dated.
phone. I mean those top and bottom bezels are
them some big boys.
I'm just looking at it right now like, good Lord. Those are huge.
Yeah.
It makes the display look tiny.
It does.
Man, that is something. Okay. Poor Pixel 2.
Well, I think, on stage, they were kind of unveiling it, right? And they did like this pan where the phone like came in from the top, and all you see is just fat bezel. And started like, what the hell? Like, where's the display?
Like, speed that pan up. It's just bezel.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, look at the bottom bezel's like insanely huge.
It is.
Whatever.
It really is. All right, so some other notes. The Pixel and Pixel XL, the originals, they are not going away. So in the past, when Google has announced new phones or whatever, like the previous year's Nexus or whatever, they just disappeared. They just no longer sold them. They're still selling them and at $100 discount. So $100 off of all price tiers of Pixel and Pixel XL. So if you do still want those, you can get a discount. I would think if they're discounting those, we might see them heavily discounted further than that elsewhere. So if you don't want the new guys, you still are down with a Pixel, which is only a year old. It'd still probably be good for another year. You'll probably start seeing those for pretty good deals coming up.
Sorry, real quick. Brian in the chat says, "Did you guys miss the part where the bezels hold the front-facing speakers?" Yeah, I mean, do you see how on the Pixel 2 XL the bezels are not nearly as huge? I mean, something could have been done, but we all know HTC just isn't capable. Apparently,
HTC does not have the manufacturing prowess to reduce bezel, I don't think. Yeah, Brian, we're talking about the Pixel 2, not the 2XL. The 2XL has some bezel, and it totally does because it has those speakers. Like when you compare it to the V30, it's a taller phone. It's a little bit bigger because of the speakers. The Pixel 2, I mean, they're substantial. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah, pretty intense.
So one other note, there was no, well, we kind of talked about, there was no Android Wear at the event, and there was no Android TV at the event. I don't really know what to say to that other than Google clearly is not making their own Android Wear watch. If they are, we've had zero leaks or rumors about that. Or maybe they're going to do it next year. I'm not really sure. But so there wasn't even really a mention other than maybe Google Assistant is on it. I'm not sure. As for Android TV, there was a bunch of references to Chromecast. I don't know that they mentioned Android TV, but we didn't get like a Pixel TV. Although, doesn't it seem like they should? Like the Nexus player that's attached behind me, that thing's like 8 years old, I feel like. And it is running Oreo. They keep updating it, but it kind of seems time, like, especially if we want to keep going toe to toe with Apple, we need a Pixel TV that connects just like Apple TV and does some cool stuff. Like it seems like an opportunity for Google to use all of their smarts to get further in there. Now I know the NVIDIA Shield has Assistant now and it's awesome on there, but it seems like Google could do something similar, do some exclusive features or whatever, like they did with their phone. So I have like no insider knowledge of this whatsoever, but I would almost be a little shocked if there isn't a Pixel TV like next year. Like it just seems like something that should be next for them.
Yeah.
Like even a Pixel Watch makes sense. I don't know that Android Wear is just tough, man. No one's buying that stuff.
No one's buying it.
No,
I think just because it's not very good.
It's not very
good.
But
hardware is cool, but I mean, you sort of need good software to go along with the good looking hardware, and it's just not there.
I still feel like Android Wear is very much a I don't want to call it just like an ongoing beta. It's like an experiment that just hasn't really gone right for Google. Like Apple and the Apple Watch, it sure seems like they're selling them. They're not selling them in like iPhone volumes, but they're selling millions of those things. I see Apple Watches all over the place now.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah. And so people are definitely buying Apple Watches.
Well, because there it's more of like a status.
It really is.
Thing, actually. I don't know if everyone's using those to their full potential or lack thereof. I just don't know if anyone's really using smartwatches unless you're a total fitness dude. Really using like a smartwatch or a fitness watch the way they're designed to be.
I think that's one of the areas where Google really nailed. I think it was the Series 2 when they flipped it and were like, this is a fitness watch. And they partnered with Nike and stuff.
Right.
And I think that was smart because that's what I mean. Like I wear a fitness watch. If Android had a good one that didn't die in 8 hours, I may use an Android Wear one, but I've tried to use Android Wear as a fitness watch. Like I have the New Balance running watch that runs Android Wear, and it's terrible. I can't stand the thing. I couldn't even review it because I was like, this thing sucks.
Well, there you go.
I didn't want to spend time. So Apple's kind of nailed that part of it. And I don't know if a Pixel Watch changes that at all. We'll see.
Well, maybe if the Pixel Watch has like a Hermes band or something like that costs $10,000.
Can you imagine? We're complaining about Pixel 2 pricing and Pixelbook pricing and a Pixelbook pen, and if Google drops a Pixel Watch and wants like $400 for it, and they're like, and here's a Gucci band to go with it. Like,
yeah,
us cheap Android fanboys it would be the end. I think it would be the end.
That's pretty hysterical. And Apple can just, $10,000 watch, yeah, it's not a problem. I mean, it's rose gold or whatever. I mean, come on.
Yikes.
Crazy.
So I think those are kind of final notes from the event.
There's a lot of stuff.
They did, yeah. I mean, it was a big event. Like you said, Google just did it all. They went kind of crazy. I was not expecting it to be that big of a that big of an event. Even though we kind of knew what was coming, they had a couple of surprises, like with the Pixel Buds, the Max.
Max.
So they did have some surprises, and it's just crazy to think. Like, you go to store.google.com, it's kind of like a playground. Like, if you had a whole bunch of money to just blow, you could easily go through like $5,000 just buying all this cool new Google stuff. It's kind of awesome, actually, that we could do that if we have the cash to. But
Sure.
like, Google just makes all this cool stuff now. It's kind
They
of
do.
fun.
It's awesome. It's great.
Yeah.
They redesigned the Google Store, which so far like it's still growing on me. It's okay, but yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. So yeah, lots of stuff going on. It's just a crazy week. It was definitely Google's week. And I say that because like Sonos announced like their first speaker with Alexa built in. And I don't want to say no one cared, but I mean, Google just announced this Home Max and all this other stuff. We know Apple's HomePod's coming. Like, I think it's gonna be a rough road for some of those early speaker companies like Sonos. And Sonos makes great products.
Sort of bad timing.
But the timing was terrible. Like, it was the same day that Google held its event. Sonos announced.
It was like 30 minutes before the event.
Yeah. Yeah, not good timing there.
The real quick, I guess I don't know. Like, does both of these devices have the front-facing speakers? Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to
the 2 and 2 XL.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wanted to clarify for Brian because he just said, "Oh, missed that front-facing speakers were only for the XL." That's not true. Like, they are on both. My point is that the 2XL has the same front-facing speakers, but a smaller bezel, and the 2 has massive bezels with speakers. They could have just done something. That was my point. They both have them, though.
Yeah, the point was, they both have them. Just one has giant bezels holding those, and one doesn't.
Right. Exactly. We can move on now. I just wanted to like totally confirm because I was confused by his comment.
Yeah. They both have stereo front. They call them front firing speakers.
Front firing. I will never say that.
Wireless HD audio with LDAC, Qualcomm aptX, and aptX HD audio codecs. It's got it all.
It's got it all, dude.
3 mics, noise suppression. Google not messing around.
Guess not.
All right, so yeah, I think that was it for the event.
Wow.
In related news, LG V30 is actually available for purchase right now.
Woo.
In one of the more sleeper launches in history, I think. I mean, the V30 is a really good phone. If you buy it, I think you are really, 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 really going to like it. But the launch, man, LG just can't get this right. Like, we know it was announced a long time ago. It's out right now, but it's like Verizon has it, AT&T has it. T-Mobile is only a pre-order. Sprint has a special version. I don't even know when that thing's coming. I can't even keep track of this, and that's my job too. This is probably not representative of the whole Verizon store population, but like, we had an email yesterday where a guy was like, I went into a Verizon store and said, "Hey, can I check out the V30?" And everyone was like, "What the hell?" He said like 3 people went, "What the hell is that? I don't even know what that is." And he said they finally found somebody that knew what it was. And they hadn't even taken the demo unit out of the box yet. And he said there was an LG rep in the store, and he wasn't even sure that guy really knew what was going on. Like, that's terrible. Like LG, you have to do better at getting your phone in front of people's faces than this. Like, the V30 is a sweet phone. I've been using it for like weeks. Like, I got back on the Pixel XL because I just wanted to refresh some of that Oreo before I got to the Pixel 2 event. But I've been using this V30 preview unit I've got, and I think people will like it, but I don't know that anyone knows that it exists, really, especially at this point now that Google just announced. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, Scott in the chat, he nails it. He says LG blew it. They should have done a hard push before the Pixel 2 announcement. They messed up ... again. And you're absolutely right. They blew it. They absolutely
it should have come out last week.
They blew it with the G6. Blew it with the V30. They're blowing it. I was watching Thursday Night Football last night. I've already seen Pixel 2 commercials up and everywhere.
Yes.
V30 commercials? Please. It's ridiculous. It's such a good phone. I mean, it looks like a great phone. We still haven't even... we can't review it. because all we got is the pre-production model.
Yeah.
I mean, LG, get it together, please.
Seriously, like this is the phone like I could see people really championing, like really getting behind the V30 going, this is awesome. You should consider this over Google and Samsung and whatever. Like this is their best phone and I don't even think it's close. But like the launch has just been so bad.
I mean, if you're going into Verizon, they don't even know that they have the phone in stock, or that's not good. That's not good.
Yeah, and again, most Verizon stores hopefully were like, yeah, here's the LG V30, let's check it out. But this guy just emailed us and was like, went into a store. I think he was in New York somewhere and was like, they had no idea.
I'm sure that happens. There might be some like out of touch mobile stores like out there in places.
But the thing is, like he also mentioned that the rep he was talking to that had no idea what the V30 was. He asked if he wanted to pre-order the Pixel 2. Like he knew what the Pixel 2 was. Like he was like, yeah, well, do you want to just pre-order the Pixel 2? And the guy's like, actually, I want to see the V30. And he was like, I don't know what that is.
Hope that guy doesn't read Droid Life. That rep. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Speaking of readers of Droid Life, I ran into a couple of dudes at the event. I am terrible with names and I really apologize for that. But I met two guys at the event that watched the show and they're longtime readers. Just want to give them a little shout out. It's always nice to meet people that read Droid Life. And both of them were like longtime Droid Life guys, like
OG days.
Yeah, like OG. Like we got a cool community around here.
We do. We love you guys.
So
but if you ever see me on the street, don't say hi.
See, and I was just gonna say, if you ever see Tim and I, like, feel free to say hi. We're not like creepy dudes.
Headbutt. No, it's cool. I've had that happen to me only a few times in terms of like random people on the street in a place, but it's great every time. Everyone's super cool. So
yeah. But anyway, so that was just like a nice surprise to chat with a couple of DL readers. All right, we'll wrap up soon. In other news, Essential Phone back on that. Look at those fingerprints.
Oh my god, look at that.
So gross. Woo. The boy's got greasy hands.
Pizza.
I promise there's no pizza on the desk right now. It got an update, software update, and camera update. We've had people, every time that happens, everyone's going to go, well, is it improved? Is it improved? I have no idea. The software seems a little bit faster, I think, maybe than the previous update, which had already improved some of it. Kellen, get a cloth, bro. Rub on the shirt, clean it off. I am back on it though, and this hardware is still great, by the way, but the software is still just a little bit slower than I would like. But yeah, back on there. I'll test the camera and maybe let you guys know on Twitter. I don't think I'm gonna like re-review the camera on the Essential Phone. And then finally, Netflix prices, they're going up again. Tim says that's fine.
Well, yeah, I mean, I watch so much Netflix, like I don't care, it's totally fine, but it sucks.
Yeah, so it's not the base one, right? The cheap plan's still the same.
So the $7.99 plan stays the same, but the $9.99 one goes up to $10.99, while the $12.99 one goes up to $14.99, something like that. I have it written down.
It's $13.99, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that's basically if you want 4K, you got to pay up, right? You'll be paying more.
Yes, and I mean, of course, that's the one I have. So I mean, it's just $2, you know.
It's not like it went up $10. Now I know it's going to constantly creep up, but you talked about this in your post on it that like they're investing heavily in all of their own content, like
original content,
and they make a lot of good original content.
This is leading to bad things though, because they're investing what's going to be $7 billion next year in their own content. They're dropping licenses for existing shows that they have, like Family Guy. So we have like 15 seasons of Family Guy on Netflix right now. They all are going to disappear next month, apparently. That's bad news because I watch Family Guy every night when I'm going to bed on Netflix, and like I'm almost like I'm triggered. Like I don't know what to do. So that sucks. But I mean, they've given us House of Cards, Stranger Things. I mean, these are kind of like phenomena of TV watching in America. It's ridiculous. Yeah. So I have to appreciate that a little bit. But they've lost their Disney connection now, so no Star Wars are coming. Like this,
Yeah, that's gonna suck. And that sucks for me because I have a kid and he likes Disney movies.
he wants to watch the Disney.
And I don't want to subscribe to Disney's streaming service. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. There's no way.
No.
So,
well, we all own all the Star Wars movies anyway.
That's true. I know I own them, but still, like I see, I didn't have to buy Rogue One because it came out on Netflix, and I could just watch it there anytime I want.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's cool. But I was really hoping for the same with like other stuff too, like other Disney stuff. But I guess that won't be the case. Tim, if $2 isn't big deal, you can pay mine. Paul, I actually suggest you sign up for a T-Mobile family plan, and they will pay your Netflix for you, which is pretty nice. They're going to be paying the price increase, which is nice. That's nice of them.
You know, I was thinking about, this is completely off subject because you just brought up T-Mobile. Project Fi.
Okay.
Except that it's not that affordable compared to all the other ones. Like Project Fi is not that cheap, but because this is totally not on any subject we were just talking about. But because it runs on T-Mobile's network, which is actually pretty damn solid these days, I thought about making that switch, and then I went, it's not cheap enough, and you don't get things like free Netflix.
Yeah, I mean, what is it, like $10 a gig still?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, the pricing structure I think needs to be updated just a little bit in terms of consumption versus. I like that you're getting like refunds or credits if you're not using that much. That's cool, but I just think there needs to be some type of pricing update.
Yeah, it's just not that cheap. I mean,
and drop the whole Sprint thing.
$20 and then 10 for a gig. So I guess like if you only use like 3 gig, you're paying $50. But I don't know. I probably use more than that. What do I pay, like $70 for T-Mobile, and I have like unlimited?
That's not
and
bad.
hotspot
And a hotspot?
All that. So yeah, Fi is just really not that. It's not that reasonably priced compared to everybody else.
That's not bad.
But anyway, I don't know why, but I was thinking about that because I was thinking about the eSIM thing. Like, oh, maybe I'll just activate that, but it's just not.
But I digest.
Yep. All right. Anything else to talk about?
Gosh, I hope everyone's doing all right. It is Friday. Please take some time this weekend just to get the engines back to neutral, relax, don't think about work, just chill. Life is good.
It's actually a good point. Everyone probably just does need to just exhale. And
yeah, I really want to go like camping. I just want to put the phone down for a couple of days, just get out there under the stars. I'm such a hippie child. Like, you should meet my mom, everybody. She's such a hippie. I was raised like a total hippie kid. So I want to go back to the woods. But yeah. Good times. We're so connected with Facebook and Twitter. I hate Twitter, by the way. We need to do a separate show just on like pop culture, maybe, so we can talk about like Cam Newton and all this other crazy stuff. I want to talk about it all. But I want to say our NFL Eliminator Challenge. I'm still 100%.
I'm totally done. Last week I got screwed by the Bills. The Bills are terrible. Every year I got screwed by them. And they beat the Falcons in Atlanta. The Falcons, who were in the freaking Super Bowl. I hate the Eliminator.
Yeah. Even who was it last night that the Patriots were playing? I'm such a spacer. Anyways, they
played Tampa.
Yeah, Tampa Bay. I mean, they gave the Patriots a pretty good game, and the Pats aren't looking that hot this year. So
not hot this year. Nope.
Yeah.
World Cup qualifying for the U.S. today. I know you care. U.S. soccer. That's what I'm talking about. Because
soccer, football.
All right.
Germany qualified. I'm happy about that.
Germany did qualify. Yes. Argentina might not, which is really hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thanks for joining.
I think that's it. Yeah, it's a long show. Lots of stuff to talk about. What a fun week. Good times. All right. Yep. Be safe out there. Have a nice weekend. Droid Life Show episode 154.
Peace.